crafty friends, and welcome to the first installment in my storybook album series type thing. I promised in my 2020 chit chat video that I was going to be working on a storybook in 2019. It is not 2019, a storybook in 2020, and I was going to be using Allie's story kits as a jumping off place to tell more stories, and I was going to keep them in a 6x8 format. So today we are talking about celebrating. And you guys, the Celebrate kit is so good. First of all, there is so much to celebrate in life. Like, we don't always have to celebrate the big things. We can celebrate the small. And Allie talked about that in the presentation in the class about celebrating the everyday and celebrating the mundane. But there's also the big things, and we should celebrate the big things. And I just realized that I have never... I think I did like one layout. I haven't really documented our engagement photos, any of that stuff. So today we are celebrating engagement photos, which is kind of perfect because yesterday was our second wedding anniversary. So I have this picture of Joshua and I. We took engagement photos in Dumbo, which is a park in Brooklyn. And so I have two pictures. I have this is 10 by 8.25. And then this is 4 by 8.25, and it's a picture of our hands and my ring. And then I have, let me just show you what I did before I turned on the camera. This was a 4 by 6 card. So I have the physical kit, and I also get the digitals, and I like, so here's my stance. I love the physical embellishments, but when it comes to the cards, I almost always go with the digitals, because I like resizing and typing and what have you. So I probably should start using up my physical cards more because I always end up using the embellishments and then I end up with like a million cards left. But so this was the card. And you can see when I reprinted it, obviously Allie's printer is like a professional printer and it's a lot nicer than mine. So like the color saturation and stuff isn't the greatest, but I don't mind that so much. I like having the stuff in the album more than I care that the coloring isn't perfect. But I took the card and I put it on a 4 by 8 canvas. And since it was white, all I did was put this at the bottom and leave the white space at the top, because this is going to go behind my photo. And if you haven't guessed it yet, we are making flips because Tashiana's the flip queen. That's what we're doing. And then I have my journaling. This was a 3 by 4 card that I did not do the greatest job of it. So my friend Crystal had this technique where you could take a card and using the marquee tool, like resize it. And now that I'm looking at it, my card isn't perfect, which is what I get for doing things in Photoshop that I don't really know how to do. I'm not reprinting it though. It'd be a waste of paper for tiny imperfections. But now I know next time to look at stuff like that closely before I print it. And the other thing I did was Allie had these, she called these story prompt cards. They are little like banners that had celebrating phrases, celebrating me, celebrating us. And what I did was I went in Photoshop and I took all the banners and I made a transparency with a bunch of them. And I'm just going to take the physical one that says celebrating relationships and lay it right over where it would be in the design. So that's how it's going to look when it's down. It's going to go over the photo, so you'll be able to see that it's transparent. You'll be able to see through it, and then where it says celebrating relationships, I'm going to have it there. So stop talking now. There's a lot going on, and then after that, I'm obviously going to embellish it to heaven. But I'm just going to keep going since I've told you everything that I had planned. So this photo, like I said, is printed 10 by 8.25. I'm going to cut it at 6 1/4. Because that is the size of the page protector. And when I sized it, I made sure to size it perfectly where both of our faces are on the right side, so that when I cut through it, I'm not cutting through anyone's face. So that's how it's gonna look in the album. So we're both on this side, and then whatever, who needs arms anyway? And then I left a little bit of the paper on this side when I trimmed it down, because I'm just gonna go ahead and stick the other side of the photo on this side, so that now I have two full spreads. So that's the plan. Okay. And that is close enough to straight. Okay, so that's how it's gonna look in the album. So I have my journaling, and then I have the big picture. It's so good already. I'm so excited. I'm very excited. So I actually don't have my album yet for this year. I'm going to order, I didn't realize I didn't have one. I thought I had one, but I'm going to order the pleather albums that Ali stocks, the 6x8 pleather albums. I like those albums a lot. And that's what I'm going to use for my storybook in 2020, not 2019. I went back to work 2 days ago, and I have been writing 2019 on everything, which is not very good when you do what I do for a living. I'm a scrub tech, and so we have to date when instruments were like sterilized and when things were processed, and it doesn't look good when I'm writing that instruments and stuff that we're using this year were last looked at and inspected last year. So I really have to get it together at some point. Everyone's been bringing my stuff back to me and going, this is the wrong year. And I'm like, it's still January. You cannot expect me to get it together that fast. It's going to take me at least a few weeks. And now I'm off work for a few days again because today's my pinning ceremony. So I'm off work because it didn't even make sense to me to go to work and pretend to focus. I wouldn't be focusing. All I'd be thinking about was pinning. So I'm home again. I'm gonna go back to work and be doing things wrong again. Okay, so now I'm assembling my flips. So I stuck the inside card down to the cardstock. I always do my flips this way. It's the easiest way to make sure that things go the way they're supposed to and that you don't have washi. And then I'm just sticking my photo down to the outside. So this is what you're going to see when you open the spread. So I think that looks pretty straight. So that's what it's going to look like. So you're going to see this, you're going to see our hands. So here's how the spread's going to look in the album. You're going to see our hands, you're going to see the picture, you're going to see this and this. And then when you open it, it's going to have words, more words. And now I get to embellish it because the skeleton of the layout is pretty much finished. And again, I'm going with like my December daily approach where things are going to be a little bit more interactive, but so I'm just like I'm kind of scrap lifting myself. I like the idea of having the transparency, of having the full-size photo, of having things outside. I'm just trying to punch these holes. I'm going to link everything I used in my description box. I'm going to get better at doing that because a few of you asked me about which transparency I used. When I printed on transparency in my December daily. So I'm going to get better at linking things in my description box. But there is a small caveat to that, and I'm going to let you know now. Some of the links I'm going to be sharing are affiliate links because I'm an Amazon affiliate. So if you do purchase anything that way, it will be super kind of you because you'll be supporting my channel. But I'm just letting you know up front that that's the deal. But I'll link the transparency. I'll link this hole punch if you're a 6x8 scrapbooker and you need a hole punch. I'll link everything in the description box. Okay, so I punched my holes, so now that I know how things look. And what was I saying? I don't even remember. So I don't have an album. We're going to go back to that conversation. So I don't have an album. I do have an old chipboard album for One Little Word that I'm not using. So that's where my stuff's going to hang out until my album comes, just so I can see what things look like in a book. Okay, so now we get to embellish things. I don't even know what I was saying. I got so distracted by punching holes. So again, like I said, I'm just going to stick this down right here. Oh, no. Nope, now it's staying. Never mind. Now it's staying. Okay. So I just used some tape runner to stick down that celebrating relationships. And that is pretty much going to be the title of my spread. And so now that it's over the photo, you can kind of see how it's going to look. So it's not like super clear, like if it was on white cardstock, what the celebrating icons say, but it's enough for you to go, hey, there's something there. So I just use like celebrating us, celebrating today, celebrating me, celebrating you, good times, new beginnings, progress, all the good. There's like 2 of them that I didn't use because one said like celebrating hard times. And celebrating this little story. I didn't use those 2 because 1, this wasn't a hard time, and 2, this is a pretty big story, so I didn't use those. So now I'm going to embellish. So the main kit this month, well, for Celebrate, came with these plastic stars, and then these plastic stars were an add-on, so I bought the add-on, and then this was also an add-on, but if you watch my December daily videos, you know I have a thing for cork. And if the cork has gold on it, then there's definitely no way that I'm resisting cork with gold. So I grabbed those 2 and added those to my cart. Also, by the time you watch this, the design team announcement will be live. So I am super fortunate. I'm super blessed. I don't even know if I have the words to explain how excited, sorry, go away phone, how excited I am to be designing for Allie and to be part of the creative team for 2020. But that's happening. So I guess now I really have to stick to my plan of making my story kit layouts, because there's gonna be like assignments now. So it's gonna be even more of the stimulus I needed to stick to my plan of telling more stories next year. But I'm so excited. I'm so honored, so proud. Just, I don't even know if I have words. But anyways, back to this. So my plan is to take one of these gold cork hearts, because I love these things, and I'm going to layer it over one of these stars. Okay, that star's a little too big, so let's think about sizing. Let's see, this star might be a little bit smaller. Uh-oh. Okay, this star is a little bit smaller. I'm like already making a mess. It's like, can we not make messes in 2020? Probably not. Like, I'm just gonna be making messes till the end of time. And I promised to read my journaling to you because I forgot to do it on one of my pages, but I will not forget to do it again. Okay. So here we go. So that's gonna go like that. And then the heart's gonna go. So I kind of don't like that star because you can't see it because there's no pattern to it. This one does have a little bit of pattern. So let's put this one. Okay, good. So you can see it now because there's a little bit of pattern. Because with the transparency and then a transparent star, it was just getting lost. Okay, so that looks like that. And then I'm going to just grab a chipboard sentiment. Oh, yay. Oh, yay. I like that. And then, since I'm doing this now, all my other embellishment clusters are just going to be based on mirroring what this one looks like. So I wanted to do this main one first and then go from there. So just using my tape runner to stick everything down. I think that's going to be so pretty when it's done. I'm so excited. Okay, so this one just says, oh, yay. Perfect. Great. So that's going to be my embellishment cluster. Do I want to put anything down here? I kind of like this sparkly one since there's gold on that heart that I use. I'm just going to put this one that says celebrate right across the bottom. I am going to grab my T-square to make sure that it goes down. All right, welcome to 2020. We're dropping things already. I'm going to grab my T-square to just make sure it goes down straight. I cannot believe that happened. Actually, I can believe that happened. This wouldn't be a layout with me if things didn't just magically fall from where they're supposed to be. Okay. And I almost put that down upside down, so that would have not been fun. Perfect. Okay, so that is that. Oh, I love that so much. Yay. And then it peeks through the bottom so you can see it. So it just says celebrate over and over, celebrating relationships. I have this. All right, now it's just time to finish this side. So for here, I think I'm going to use this bigger star because it's the same colors as in here. And do I want to use one of these red? Is there red anywhere else? So I'm not going to use this red just because there's not red anywhere else and I don't want to introduce any new colors. So I'm just going to go back to my chipboard. Celebrating good times. That feels good. Okay, so first I'm going to put the chipboard title on the star because that'll tell me where to put the adhesive behind it. I don't want to put the adhesive... Which way? How do stars go? This way. Okay. All right, so I'm going to put it like this. I don't want to put the adhesive until I have the star, the chipboard sentiment on it first because I kind of don't want the adhesive to show through, if that makes any sense. So I have that, celebrating good times, and then I'm going to put a tiny heart just to repeat. Again, I'm just repeating. Actually, I don't know if I'm going to put a tiny heart because that's a really thick embellishment. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to grab my skinny tape. Where's my tape? I don't know where, there it is. So I was going to put that cork heart behind on the inside, but that's just a little too much dimension, and I think that'll make the photo start to like warp and buckle and do weird things, so I'm not going to do that. What I will do is put a heart on the outside where our hands are, because one, it's a perfect place to put a heart, because because it's a picture of our hands. And 2, it's an opportunity for repetition because I think repeating embellishments is the, oh, I didn't put that down straight to at all. Wow. All right, let's see if I can move that. That's not straight. Never mind. I can't move it. It's staying where it is. How did I screw that up so badly? Okay, never mind. It's staying where it is. It's just staying crooked because I can't move it without ruining that chipboard. Okay, so that's what that's gonna, it is going to bother me. I'm just ruining everything today. I wonder if I just make the star look up. That's what I'm gonna do. So I move the star so the star looks a little bit wonky, but it makes the chipboard straight. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and stick it back down. So I'd rather have a bit of a wonky star than have a piece of chipboard that's not straight, especially since it's a sentiment that's supposed to be, never mind, I gotta do this all over. So anyways, what I was saying is I'd rather have the star be less than straight to have the chipboard straight because it's a sentiment that has to be read, and when that's not put down perfectly, it is very obvious. So all I did was move the star a little bit so it looks like it's on an angle, and then now my chipboard sentiment is straight. But I've also ruined my chipboard, so I'm just taping it back together. Okay, wouldn't be a Tashi layout if we didn't have some minor disasters, but they have been averted and they have been fixed. So what I want to do is I want to put this, I kind of want to put this red one up here that says celebrate this because it has like a little tab to pull it out, but then we run into the same place where there's no red anywhere else. I could grab one of these red ones and put it here. Never mind. I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do. I do want to put a heart and another star. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do that. I'm gonna put this star here. Which side is the front? This side, okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and just put this star right here and put another heart. I love having cork hearts like this and cork. I had cork stars in December. Cork is one of my favorite textures to use in my memory keeping. So whenever there's an opportunity to get cork mixed with like sparkly bits, I'm all about it. Like 100% all about it. Okay. And then I do want to put a sentiment. So I am going to use one of these red ones. This moment, this story. Best day ever. Okay. Josh was laughing at me because that noise I just made is a noise I make when I'm calling my cats, but it's also my thinking noise. And he pointed out that I did it in one of my previous videos, and I was like, absolutely not. And then I just realized that I did it, and he's laughing. I don't know if you could hear him laughing, but he's laughing, and I know why he's laughing. It's because I made that silly noise, and I can't stop myself from doing it. So it'll probably happen over and over. That's my, I'm attempting. I cannot even work right now because I'm laughing at myself. That's my, I'm attempting to process something noise. And yeah, so if it happens again, that's what I'm doing. I'm just thinking. I don't like that red. I can't make it work. I'm not going to use it. All right, I'm not using it. I will find something else to put here. Do I want, what do I want? Just trying to make some decisions right now. So right now we're just playing. Okay, so I think I'm going to put this. I'm going to put this chipboard icon at the top. I'm going to use some tape because I don't want the, that's not going to stick at all. I don't want the whole thing to be sticky, but it's not going to work that way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it at the top and then probably just put a piece of like white cardstock. A piece of white cardstock to take the stickiness off. So we're going for it. We're working through it. This is a work in progress. Okay, so just need a bit of scrap cardstock to cover some of that stickiness. So I'm just cutting like a semicircle that I think is close enough in size. It is not the most elegant of solutions, but it will do the job. Okay. Yeah, that did it. All right, so let's put this in an album and we will see how we feel about it and if it needs anything else. So I'm gonna go ahead and put it in a book and I will be right back. Okay, friends, so we're back. So here's what the layout looks like in the book. And I actually don't think I'm going to embellish it any further because it's so good. Like, it did exactly what I wanted it to do. I have the hearts with the stars. I have my transparent background. There are cats running around. And then I have this big photo of Joshua and I that spans the 2 pages. And then I have my journaling. And it feels like the perfect place to start my storybook for 2020. I am so... Minerva. I am so happy with the way this came out. So happy, so enthused. So I'm going to read you my journaling really quickly. So here it goes. It says, I said yes, and how can such a simple and small word, 3 letters, 1 syllable, be so groundbreaking and earth-shattering and life-changing and affirming all at the same time? Yes means bravery, means taking risks, means trying again and again, means looking at everything ahead of you means looking at everything ahead of you that could possibly going wrong and saying you are so small in the face of everything that could go right. So I said yes. Yes to you, to your hand, to your heart, to being your wife, your partner, your home. Yes to loving you. Yes to being loved by you. Yes to building a home and a life and something that could look like forever with you. Since this day, this story, this leap, I have played it over and over in my mind, and some days, on my worst days, the comparison bug bites me as I watch the videos and see the photos and watch the highlight reel of people's lives played over and over, and I find myself wondering, how would I plan the perfect proposal? Would I have changed it? Would I have done it better? But those questions don't matter, and they have never mattered, because all that does matter is you were brave, and you looked me in the eye and said you wanted my brand of crazy forever. I still think you should reevaluate that choice, and you still think I'm nuts. And your voice shook, but you were so brave, and you put a ring on my finger, a ring that you chose all on your own, and it is the most beautiful thing I have ever seen. And my breath caught, and I cried, and you smiled, and you kissed me, and I said yes. And if that's not how all love stories should start, I'm never reading one again. Celebrating you, celebrating this moment, celebrating us. So that's my journaling. Here's the first entry in my storybook. It's all about celebrating big things and big moments and love and everything that is good in the world. So I hope you enjoyed watching. Thank you so much for coming back to my channel and for following along with me. I cannot wait to fill this book up with stories. I cannot wait to get my real album so I can see things the way they're supposed to be. And I hope you come back for the next story. So that's all I have for you today. Till next time, keep it crafty, friends, and have the best day. Bye.